Hello out there to all of my fellow gold diggers. This is your girl Rita, also known as the self-proclaimed gold digger. Welcome to my channel where I discuss my life as a wife, mom, entrepreneur, and business owner while trying to crush and achieve my goals. As I always have shared, my financial goals, my debt-free journey is at the forefront of my mind, and that has been my main focus thus far and my main focus for 2021. All right, but today I'm coming to you to share with you how I kind of manage my money, and I manage it through the cash envelope system. So I'm going to go over with you what all is involved with that to see if you might possibly be interested in incorporating the cash envelope system into your daily routine and help you better manage your finances. Now, before we start, I would love if you would subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you can be notified whenever I have new videos out. I tend to post videos twice a week, and if you enjoy this video, please feel free to hit the thumbs up button and share it with a friend. All right, so let's get into it. So the cash envelopes, what is that? Pretty much, I utilize the cash envelope system for pretty much all of my expenses. I have a video where I talk about why I have over 15 bank accounts. Feel free to check that out. I'll include the link above. But in addition to that, I do use the cash envelopes. And basically what I did to create my cash envelopes, I looked at pretty much every little expense I had and I created an envelope for that. So whether it was the water bill, the electricity bill, if it was for pest control, my spending money, all of that, those little bills. So basically I would encourage you to look at how you are spending your money each month, and then you can even break it down to each week. Look at those individual expenses, and you can possibly create an envelope for it. Now, don't go overboard. I will say I do have a lot of envelopes. I don't know exactly how many, but I do have a lot. But you can definitely group it in categories. Like there's a subscription category. So instead of you putting, if you have a Hulu subscription, Netflix subscription, I don't know, Audible subscription, you can link all of those together, but look at the little expenses, or the individual expenses. Because oftentimes, I know for me personally, I try to keep track of all of my money in my head, like what they call mental accounting. Like I knew what was in my account, and then I was like, okay, the mortgage is due, okay, the electricity bill is due, or whatever, and I would just kind of subtract and deduct from there. It was like the big stuff I remember or whatever, but all the little stuff, it was like, ooh, I forgot to pay this, or ooh, I need to hurry up and pay that. And I was just, I won't say scrambling around or whatever, but things would slip my mind because it'd just be like little things that would come up that you forget about, that just aren't, they're not as important to you as making sure you have a roof over your head, groceries, gas in your car, that kind of thing. Make sure your car note is paid, that kind of thing. They weren't the big pressing things, but they came out of your account and they affected your money and they affected your finances. So I looked at each of those things and I pretty much created an envelope form. And how I allocate the money, it has changed because I have been doing this maybe 2 years, I believe, maybe about 2 years or whatever. So it has evolved over time. At the time I started too, my income was not the same. It was inconsistent. So I didn't really know what I was getting from week to week when I first incorporated it. And I did it based off of like a base amount. Like I was like, I don't know, I could possibly get more, but I know I should at least get this. And I would do it every week because, like I said, my money was inconsistent and I was working one day a week. So when I got that money, I won't say I was working one day a week. I was working a full week, but there was only one day where I was really getting paid, or it was generating income. You'll have to check out like my business videos to get the full scoop on how all that went down. But anyway, so I would do it once a week, and I would allocate the money from there. Since then, it has evolved. I am now on payroll. Your girl is on payroll now. So now I get paid bi-weekly. So every other week I get a paycheck. So I have had to make some adjustments to that. But still, it's pretty much, even when I was doing it once a week, it was based off of 4 weeks being in a month or whatever. And even now that I'm doing it bi-weekly, which I started that at the beginning of 2021, it's still based off of me getting 2 paychecks in a month. Now, there are times where you're going to have, a extra paycheck a month, or there's going to be like 5, weeks in a month or whatever, or 5 Fridays, because that's usually when I get paid or whatever. So, and that happens quarterly, so 4 times out of the year. So you might have a little bit of extra money during those times, but I still base it off of like a 4-week month, so to speak. So let's go over my envelopes with me. And now keep in mind, and the envelopes, they have cash in them. So they have actual cash money. And when it's time for me to pay a certain bill, I will take the cash and I will deposit it into my regular checking account. But I don't do that until the bill is actually due. Now, I do not walk around with these envelopes. The envelopes that we're about to go over, these pretty much stay home, and I just stuff them twice a month or whatever I get paid or whatever with the designated funds that they have. And like I said, it has evolved and it has changed over time. So the first envelope I have is savings. I probably need to take that out because I don't use that anymore. Currently, I have it already set up that a portion of my paycheck goes directly into a savings account. So I don't even see it. That's a good tip. Automate your savings so that you never even see it, and it just goes there, and you just stack that cash. So, but before I did that, that was an envelope that I used. My other envelope is electric and gas. That is together. So I have an envelope for that. My tithes, I don't really use this envelope anymore. Not saying I don't pay my tithes, because I do, but even with that, I usually don't take the money out. The money stays in my account. Like I said before, I was getting paid, when I was getting paid once a week, I was getting paid cash too, and I would usually have to deposit that into into my account. So that was also a little bit easier for me to do the cash envelopes then, because I was already having the cash in my hand, whereas now the money is getting directly deposited into my bank account, and then I'm withdrawing it or whatever. So like I said, it has evolved over time. The next envelope I use is water and sewer, because that is grouped together. My mortgage, I do allocate for that, even though I end up having to deposit it in there, because that is a big expense or whatever. So it's easier for me to break it up over bi-weekly, or when I first started, like weekly or whatever. So it's like, oh my gosh, it's not like this big hit to my account. And I will say it has been great, because it's like when it's time for my mortgage to be due, it's like it's like it doesn't even affect my account, because guess what, the money is already sitting here. I just deposit it in there. So whatever money is in my account, it's like it doesn't even make any difference to it or whatever. I don't have to worry about touching it. Next is my phone bill, then my life insurance. So you see all these little expenses I have. I do have some credit card debt, so that's what these next 4 envelopes are for. My private student loan, I have an envelope for that. My taxes, because I was self-employed and had to pay quarterly taxes. I'm still having to set money aside for that, because I don't know what I'm going to have to owe for taxes, or if I'm going to have to owe something for taxes. So I'm still setting something aside for that. My kids' school shopping, and I do have an online account for that, but this is for like if they need little expenses throughout the year, because it does take 3 days for me to get the money into my account from my online account. So if they need something quickly, or they ran out of something or whatever, I always have this here just to get during those times. New car. Now, hopefully you've checked out how I bought my new car in cash, but I told you before, I'm still saving up for a new car as well, and that's just because instead of me making payments to a bank or a credit union or to whoever, a lender or whatever, I'm making these payments now to myself for when it's time for me to buy my next new car, and I'll already have that cash already stacked up. Okay. Car repair and maintenance, I have that. I also have both of the new car and the car repair and maintenance. I do have an online account set up with that as well. This is like if I need, like if something happened or whatever, I needed a new tire at the last minute, can't wait 3 days or whatever, I'll have some money here. But once the money gets to a certain amount or whatever, I don't keep that in the envelopes just because I don't want that amount of money lying around, and I will transfer it to my online account. CE, continuing education for my profession, I need that. These are other ones. See, this is my little book. It doesn't even fit in the daggone book. That's how many daggone envelopes I have. The POA and HOA fees, those come once a year, so I have that. Giving and gifts, that is for like if my kids have a birthday party or something like that they need to go to, money comes out of that. My car tax. Travel, I do have an online account for that, but this is more so like if I have to take a last minute trip home, which recently we did have to do or whatever. That is to cover like my gas, and that doesn't come out of like I do have a separate envelope for gas, but that particular gas envelope is for like my regular everyday going back and forth to work. Like if I went home, that's like a tank of gas, and I don't want to use my regular gas budget for that. So travel, also when we tend to travel too, it's like when you get around people or family and stuff like that, you might have to go out to eat or pick up a meal on the way down there or something like that. So that is also factored into the travel budget. Car insurance, termite and pest control, and then internet. So those are my envelopes. Though now these stay home. I don't, like I said, I don't walk around with these. Now I have my purse right beside me, so I am going to pull out the envelopes that kind of walk around with me, that I keep the money in. So groceries, gas, household expenses, that's like if we need toilet paper, paper towels, that kind of stuff, household stuff. So not groceries. Sometimes that will go hand in hand with the groceries depending on where I'm shopping. Like if I'm shopping at Target for groceries, sometimes that can overlap, but the household is more so for that. Personal, this is for me when I feel like, get me something to eat, buy me some clothes or something like that, get me some little treat. That's what it is. Kids, this is also if they need something quick. The other one is for bigger ticket items that they might need. This is like if they want something from McDonald's. This is the McDonald's money. Like, do we have McDonald's money? Like, if we look in this envelope, if we don't have no McDonald's money, we not getting anything to eat. That's what that is for. Mommy break. Sometimes things can get a little stressful, and what I have learned is I tend to when I'm stressed out or whatever, I tend to eat. So I call it my little mommy break. So when things are stressful and I need to go eat, or I need to go buy me some, like a candle or something like that, because that's usually things that I'll quote unquote splurge on, like picking up a candle or something like that. I'll check and see if it's in the budget, and making sure I don't go overboard too just because I'm stressed out. So it's a good way to say, hey, there are gonna be times where you are stressed and you might want to spend some money, and let's do it in a controlled and disciplined environment. This other one is personal expenses. This actually should be in the one that I don't typically walk around in, but I have it out because I did need to I did need to purchase, like, get some clothes or something like that for myself as well as for my kids or whatever, and I took some of the money from their envelope, put in that, but I ended up not even spending it. So I need to actually put it back up and put it away because I don't need to spend it now. And these are like just when I need to make a deposit. So those are all of my envelopes. Like I said, I don't know how many it is. It's probably over 20, maybe 20 or so envelopes or whatever, but you just designate them how you see fit. And I figured I would show you guys because I just went to the bank today and I have all of my little cash, and I am about to stuff my envelopes. So I won't show you the process of stuffing it because it's not that entertaining. But yeah, I figured some of you may want to know how I kind of budget. and or help me budget, because I don't think this is actually budgeting per se or whatever, but it helps me stay on track and helps me not to spend extra money, because I just look in my envelope, see what's there, and I stick to whatever is allocated. And it also helps me with bigger expenses to make sure I'm saving appropriately weekly or bi-weekly, for the necessary things. And like some of the things I mentioned, like they only happen once a year. The car insurance only happens, twice. We have our set biannually, so twice a year, and you just don't want those kinds of things to kind of hit you out of nowhere. So let me know in the comment section, do y'all use cash envelopes? Are you thinking about using cash envelopes? Do you want to know more about my cash envelopes or whatever? Let me know. Let me know if you think it has worked for you. It has worked for me. Like I said, I've been using it for about 2 years now, and it has definitely been helpful and beneficial, and also helps to see me what I'm spending money on as well. All right, this is all I have for now. This is your girl Rita, also known as the Gold Digger. Take care.